Bidi. May 26, 2019. Interviews, Agape celebration in the Canaries. Well, Bidi is with you, and I greet you. I am delighted to be with you, especially now that the truth is being experienced, is directly accessible to everyone, and it is in this perspective that I intend to express myself, by exchanging views. So I'm listening to you. Question. In these times of returning to the 0 point, why talk about rebirth, since we were never born? But because you were born, you are still in a body. There's this body right there, no. So what is reborn? Reborn inside this body, what do you want to call it? You were never born when you no longer have this body. But you can see, beyond all your experiences, for those who are already living it, that there is something that is born, that gives the impression of being born. So it is indeed, as Abba told you, a form of rebirth. What is born again in this body of flesh, in this bag of meat, is exactly what I have been telling you for years, in relation to the Absolute. So yes, as long as the character is there, is still there, he will be there until the last moment. You have crossed it, you live it. What do you want to call it? It is not yet a transubstantiation, since the physical body is there, and this rebirth takes place in this bag of meat. It is a pictorial language, but it has the advantage of enlivening, for those who are still in the scriptures, whatever they may be, to put words, not for you, but for those who, precisely, do not yet live it. We don't play with words. When I say we, it's as much me as Abba, as OMA, and as any of us. You're bearers of the word of truth, and it has to come out of you. It is like when you testify in many ways, so that all those who still believe themselves to be something, by living it somewhere, confine themselves, and not be reassured, but see for themselves that this process is general. But of course, and fundamentally, there is no one, we agree. And don't forget that as Abba has demonstrated, the process is resultary on the whole creation, which is an illusion. The universe will pass away, that the eternal I, the Absolute, will always be there, devoid of attributes, form, consciousness. But the fact of being informed through this body of flesh also allows, I believe you have called it a form of resonance, a form of identification beyond any identity, where you find yourself. It is not an intellectual act, it is not even energetic, and even less vibral. You're indeed recreating this 0 time which, of course, has always been there. You become aware of it, if I may say so, and that is what puts an end to the disease of consciousness. It is to put you in the best position to live it. Do not stop at words and concepts, because if you stop at words and concepts, you limit the process, which has always been there. It is important that he appears within the known, within the dream, since that is what ends the dream. Are you all right? I'm not screaming too loudly. Voice. No, it's very good. Perfect. Laughs. Then keep going. Question. What exactly is contained in our last and first name? The truth. You don't need to analyze that or anything else. You're the word, you're the event, as Abba says, and it has been hidden, as he explained to you. Look for nothing else, even if everything is contained in it, whether it's colors, numbers, everything you can imagine. These are still concepts, even if they have an application in consciousness. The only truth word is what you call yourself, and that's not something I decided, you know, it's in the dream itself that this event, you can call it grandiose or stupid, whatever. The unknown is in the known, the unknown is lived in the known, and don't worry about what it means, do it. Once again, you want an understanding, you want to explain, you want to understand. Knowledge is ignorance, I have repeated it for years. Why do you want to know what your first or last name means? Update it today by pronouncing it, and the result is unstoppable. You live it or you don't, but it's written from the moment you say it. There is not always immediacy, because as the question suggests, you're thinking, or pondering, or trying to explain the unexplainable. You can only live it. And if you have any questions about why the last and first name, you are not available in full. So of course, EBA gives you reference points. As I said, the reference points allow you to resonate, and that's all. You are not going to give me essays on love or on the natural state. It has been seen enough and said in multiple, all the possibilities. The words did not come from chance or a brain, even EBA's, they are obvious. Accept that it is obvious and it will be obvious. It is no longer time with your last and first name to want to explain a soul journey, to want to explain the circumstances, something that never existed. Go straight to the goal, and when you're at the goal, what happens? EBA told you, you are consumed by love, through all this body, through all the appendages of your bodies of eternity, which are only chimeras, which allow you to dream, that's all. Love does not need concepts, does not need definitions, even if there is indeed a vibrational love that has been named by EBA Agape, it is part of the script of the theatre scene that has been written, that's all. That allows you to see and live that there has never been theatre, that there has never been an observer, that there has never been an I am, that there has never been a form. That's all. That's all. Plenitude, if you can define it, is there. And when you live it, you understand it. But don't ask about that. We will not justify why the word, why the surname, why the first name, which is illusory and carries the vibration of the first breath. It emanated from the Absolute, at the edge of the supra-consciousness of the abode of supreme peace. And the spontaneity that has been taught to you in length, breadth and depth, look at the ease with which you try to grasp, not even concepts, but you're living it, to make it something. The natural state is the state of the child who cares about nothing but being totally there. Everything else is distraction, feeds the head, it is the heart that must be fed, and when I say feed it, it feeds itself. Keep going. Voice. You have already almost answered, but I will continue anyway. Since in the beginning was the word/verb, is the word a sound? What is the word? Say your last and first name and you will live it. Why do you want to define? Stop with the definitions. Understanding is the living. The word, it was explained I think by EBA, more than widely. It's not just the sound, it's not just the vibration, it's the key. But there is no key. But for the character's story, for the consciousness itself, even if it is supra, it is what puts an end to the disease, to all the concepts, to all the promises of paradise or of tomorrow, or if I don't know anything about any world whatsoever. Love is naked, I think EBA and I have said it enough. Let things be what they are. All this was written, and even that, it was lived, even if, of course, it is a shock, it doesn't matter, let it go. You can't define the truth, without it you deflect it. You can only be, and it is in the non-being that joins the being, that joins the ephemeral. And I think EBA had used an expression that sums it up perfectly, what he called the simulacrum that joins the sacred, that's it. If you want a precise definition of zero time, turn to mathematics, but the explanation will not make you live things, ever. Accept this, and the more you experience, the more you live, the more you are both being and not being, here in this body, through the dream, the less you will question yourself. If you wonder about the meaning of the word, you are still in philosophy, you are still somewhere in your head, the heart has not taken up all the space. The child does not need a speech. The key is here and now, everything else just literally parasitizes you, and makes you go back into your head. As I said, the mind creates the abyss, and believe that a symbol or an understanding of anything today, apart from drifting in concepts, will not allow the freedom to live what you call agape, or whatever, the fire of the sacred heart and everything else. EBA's task, which is not a mission, is simply to support this. Once again, even if all the explanations exist, in all sciences, as long as it is not lived, it is useless. Besides, nothing can be of any use. This is what will break the ultimate conditioning, the ultimate fears, and I have said it and I repeat it again today with firmness, love or suffering. And if there is questioning even the meaning of what you are experiencing, there is suffering. The natural state is permanent. When it is in this permanence, as Agape said, there is evidence, whatever your intellectual capacities may be, it is in this that it is a rebirth, which is useless since you do not exist. You've seen it from everywhere. In advert of danger, you have many jokers who handle concepts, energies, images perfectly, but if they live the truth, they could no longer nourish and handle these concepts, images, stories, emotions. The truth is naked, Abba has told you and repeated it to you, and I have often confronted myself enough. During trips in naked conscience, I have come to see many of you at night. Did I give you speeches? If there were speeches, it wasn't me. I just came to be present, beyond being present. To be present is not even to be in the being, it is to be here and now, and it is no longer even in the middle of the chest. You see it when you consume love. You're that fire, in the phase of alchemy you are living. But even this fire does not exist, and yet you are living it. It bears witness to love. The truth cannot be told, because as soon as it is expressed, there is interpretation, there is a feeling or not, there is somewhere a form of distance that reappears. The more you are available, the less you question, the less you resist, the more love unfolds. As you can see, it happens to brothers and sisters who have no spiritual experience, no feelings, no vision. The natural state needs nothing, it is natural. And yet the expression, state, will attract your consciousness and your mind, towards the possibility of other states, quite naturally. But it's not even a state, but it's not even natural. You see it in yourself. So I don't know what the last word ever used on this knowledge of the head was, it's just a myth. That's why it's the same for the word rebirth, which actually means nothing since you were never born. They are simply words that carry the word, like the words that have been used for more than a year, that make all their meaning today, not through understanding, but through living it. Moreover, you will easily notice that, when you go out, which is impossible, or when you let your head express itself, well, you will suffer. You will no longer be able to leave each other, you will no longer be able to believe in a few days in the future. But that's not how you're going to get into a chair and stay put. Keep it simple. It has been explained so much, I think, for years, in length, breadth and depth, by the stars, by the elders. I remind you that when I was incarnate, it was when I threw away all my books, all my knowledge, that I rejected my own conscience, my own energies, but I did not reject my life. I was married, I had children. It was when I accepted that all this was just wind, that it got out of me. So I can only urge you today to be totally indifferent. You'll soon realize that all your knowledge and experiences that have served you until today will become total burdens and sufferings. This does not prevent you from continuing your profession, whatever it may be, from feeding your children and taking care of your responsibilities, as long as you can. I have said it and I repeat, the discovery of the truth will put an end to your world. It's recorded, you feel it, you see it on all your screens. Do not worry about anything else, except living your life, your obligations. You have responsibilities within this form, this bag. But don't put unnecessary weight on it. Keep going. Voice. Can you say something to all those who do not feel their wings in this time when vibrations and perceptions no longer matter? Yes, we agree, so I have nothing to say about it. You are not what you perceive. It is also means, guides, landmarks, but it is not an end in itself. It's the same. A few years ago, you saw your origins, your lineages, which are in the history of the dream. But don't dwell on it any longer, otherwise you will suffer, all open or liberated as you are, and life will call you to order very quickly. You will fall, you will have diseases, you will suffer needlessly. While you were with the vibrations, perceptions, or your wings, but it belongs to what the wings, to the body of eternity. But the Absolute has no use for your body of eternity, you're anterior to all this. Of course it's there, but don't give any credit to all this, even if it can reassure you at some point, even if it's wonderful, it's just a pipe dream. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because you are living it. But you never existed. Let things be done. Be the simplest in your life, in what your life demands of you. Do not make any energetic, vibratory, visual or any other claims. And besides, the commander had told you for many years not to take care of the children. They are the ones who will take care of you. Remember that before 7 years there is no structured emotion, there is no structured mind, and before 7 years there was just the appearance of individuality. The ultimate key was said by Eber himself, standing at the junction of being and non-being, which he delivered to you in 3 parts. All you need is your last and first name, everything else keeps you away from it, inexorably. And everything that takes you away from it is suffering. Lightness, freedom, are not concepts, no matter what the limitations due to your body, your finances, or your family. Take pleasure in observing the flowers, take pleasure where it is, and let it be what it is, let it be what it has always been. Ultimately, do not feel concerned in any way. Be present, here and now, as you say. And the secret was hidden in your heart, of course, it was always said, and also in the way you call yourself. The way you recognized yourself when you were named little ones, that is, it is in the depths of the dream of identification, not to a form, not to this body, but within this identification to which you respond, your first name, when you were called, your name when asked your name, which belongs and is registered only between birth and death however. That this is revealed, and I assure you that's all. Everything else is just a game of your conscience, supra or not, I don't care, but that's precisely what gives you access to freedom, that's precisely what puts an end to any claim of the ego, the soul or anyone else. Today, moreover, for those who are going through this, try to project yourself into anything, if not into your ordinary life, you will find that you will be very uncomfortable. And all those who are overloaded with dreams, stories, projections, vibrations, even Eber experienced it a few days ago, he told you about it. Do not worry about anything, do not even try to be the observer, or even the one who feels. You are none of these things. Don't stare at anything, don't freeze anything. Even if there are points of reference that have been given to you, there is no other truth to live it than to accept to be immersed in the whole, in here and now. It's like you are asking me, what is the present? Well, it's not the past or the future. It's like you are asking me, how can I live in the present? Be there naturally, respond to what your life asks of you, to what the intelligence of light makes you live, that's who you are. You know this for those who have already experienced signs and symptoms of their stellar origins, it was discussed at length by OMA several years ago. Yes, it passes. The body of eternity is the same for everyone, no matter what you perceive of it, be it beaks, fins, wings or whatever. As Eber said last year, he understood it because he experienced it. They are costumes, clothes, of course, much lighter and more pleasant than this bag of meat. Don't identify yourself with anything, you just get out of the identification using your official identity, that's all. And go about your business, whatever it is, you will no longer be disturbed. You can only notice, through this term of rebirth, that you function differently, that there is a natural disappearance, without any effort, of any desire, any need, at all levels, but you decide nothing. As long as you think you're deciding, the decision freezes you. Keep your decisions to buy a car, keep your decisions to change computers. But for what you are beyond being, there is nothing to decide. And I think Eber told you, it's a problem of acceptance. As soon as the unknown is accepted, today, it is lived, there is no scenario that holds. All those who talk to you, about energy, about measurement, either is their professions that they continue, it will not bother them. But if you're trying to measure anything, you're wrong. Love is unlimited, it cannot be measured, it cannot be contained, in anything, it cannot be qualified, it cannot be seen, because love is that which sees. How do you want to see that which sees? It's like you're thinking, I want to see my eye. Except in a mirror, you can't see your eye, it's the organ that sees. Think about it. With the heart. It's right there in front of you. even if this love expresses it, and it is so much the better, whether it is by singing, by your hands, by kindness, by plowing your garden, or by making bombs. I am not talking about being a terrorist, but if your job is to make bombs, if your job is to be a butcher, you will not, under the pretext that you are the truth, stop your job, under the pretext that it causes suffering. Otherwise you have not understood anything about what love is, you do not live it, and you can be clothed with all the vibrations, you remain trapped. Let yourself be consumed, you are what consumes, not what is consumed, understand this difference. And it is the word that consumes you. And for everyone the word is their identity, it is as simple as that, there is no need to look for noon to 2 p.m., it is a distraction. And soon, it will be a pain, too. And you will also see, in the days to come, if you want to have fun working on your energies, in practices that you were doing, even the most noble ones, for example, even yoga, you will feel very bad. I know I'm not going to make friends with yoga teachers, but you can only live it. So you're going to tell me, I'm going to be unemployed. But not at all. Just be there, and everything is done without you. But if you train what little consciousness remains, you will burn, it will be very unpleasant, it will become unsustainable. Even if you immerse yourself in the cold water bathtub, you won't get cold. So I know that you have heard a lot about water, indeed it is important, it is an aid and a milestone. Anything that is contrary to the truth will slip your fingers. You will not be able to grasp anything, even what you know. This is how you discover total spontaneity, the absence of conditioning, the absence of prerequisites. This is how you will even experience that your energies, your vibrations, which have been so useful, are only a burden. That doesn't mean you have to chase them away, it doesn't mean you have to understand them either, nor does it mean you have to wait for them somewhere. You're in exactly the right place to live the truth. It is the intelligence of light, it is life that acts, it is not you. We have told you enough, love is without form, love is without dimension, love is without time, love is without space, love is without vision, love is without question, love is without projection, love is lived. So of course you have been told to be humble, but humility is, above all, to accept. To accept does not mean doing nothing, it especially means not opposing. And what sets you apart most is the need for meaning. Love has no meaning, it has no reason, no justification, without it, it is conditioned. You can continue. Voice. I have no more written questions. So oral. Silence. I can stay like this for hours, it's just as effective. Voice. Everyone seems happy. Laughs. And yet, I'm not talking so loud, am I? Voice. Oh yes, yes, we don't mind, for your voice. Silence. When you notice that there are no more words, that there are no words, no matter how surprised, amazed, that are contained in the verb of your noun and first name, you will see for yourself, if you have not already done so, that if you let your conscience run free, I am not even talking about your mind, it is necessary to live every day, you will be very ill. This does not even mean that the natural state will disappear, but that you will experience the superposition of the natural state with consciousness, which makes, I must say, a very bad marriage together. It will be reflected in your life, in the circumstances of your body, and I guarantee you that at that moment, you will not hesitate for a second to return to your natural state, whether you feel the vibrations, or not. It is open to everyone, you're everyone, and you can only see and you will see more and more easily, that if you pull a little too much on your conscience, you'll suffer, and that if you let things be, even this terrible fire that consumes your body, will not change anything, even during the event. You will disappear with joy, that's why 3 days ago and not just for a moment, because there are some who will need to be cut off from their concepts, their visions, their energies, their vibrations, their wings too if necessary, You don't need them, even if it's particularly pleasant today, even if today it seems to bring you to more lightness, to more evidence. At some point you will be strongly embarrassed by it. Don't get attached to anything. Be available, and that's all, here and now. What doesn't stop you from living? What doesn't stop you from exchanging like you do here, and from seeing that it corresponds to a specific story, but on which you can't do anything? It's written. You have already played it, and your body itself, this bag of meat, or your body of eternity, in a way, will call you to order very quickly. Voice. I think a brother has a question. Perfect. Voice. No, no. Oh no, I was wrong. Laughs. It was a hand that accidentally rose up. Laughs. Soon, even raising your hand to ask a question will be an intolerable suffering, and I am delighted. Voices. Ah, there is still a question. Go ahead. Go ahead. Burn the last few cartridges. Voice. You talked about the 3 days, Bidi, and the revelation of IAYOUN was made in 3 parts, and last night, like many others here, I was quite shaken. Personally, it was confused dreams. It was just to express that, even if this revelation by IAYOUN seems to simplify everything, at the level of the body, and at the level of what circulates, this fire that circulates, it is not always comfortable. Absolutely, it burns, and it burns what? The last areas of resistance that are not conscious. Even Ebba didn't know there were going to be 3 parts, Ebba only follows what is written. If you had asked him the day before it was over, he would have been unable to answer you. He told you himself, he is only remembering at the same time as you. He expresses at the exact day and time, but he has not decided. Look, I even think he told you that yesterday there was a crop circle, as you say, which was created the same day. These are the Arcturians who accompany the game. But did Ebba need to be informed of this? Absolutely not. Yes, it happens in 3 days. You named it, I think, the 3-in-1, at chess level. It was necessary to act or anchor, I think you also say, in this illusory plan, a reality. You don't need to know the gates, the stars, the vibrations today, but if it's your job, use it. But for you, to live it, you don't need it, it's all in the past. This past that guided you, what you went through and experienced, with all these states that passed, all these fires, all these crowns, all these circuits, all these descriptions that were made simply as a kind of report of the experience. In the same way that 0 time is lived, and at that moment you end up in space, you are space, there is no one, and at some point, even space has no reason to exist. It's still a demonstration. So of course, from the point of view of the person, from the point of view of spirituality, this total scam, well, it's going to be presented to you as nothing, as something where there's nothing, where it's horrible. But don't be fooled. You know very well, whatever you have lit recently or for decades, you can see very well, through your emotions, whether you are well or not. You can see very well if you're embracing or if you need to escape. There's no excuse for that. I repeat again today to your firmness, it will be expressed with more and more intensity, love or suffering. But as soon as you have said your last and first name, even if you are not living anything at the moment, give yourself a few days there too. Love is not in a hurry. Whatever is pressing you in your life, or whatever you see everywhere on earth, you see it well, fire, water, the elements, as Omriam said, the elements, the riders, all that is the scenery on the scene of this world, which is only a dream. Whatever you still think of it today, you will laugh at yourself in a very short time, even at all your toys, the stones, the vibrations. Even the cetaceans that have such an important role in the scenario, they had explained it to you, but soon it will seem superfluous to you, individually. But yet here they are, in the dream. They have also explained to you in different ways, they are you, and, as soon as you see them physically on pictures, well, you see what you are going through. But don't make it a purpose, a goal, an adjective or stories. Here too, be available. but available for what? To life. Available for what? In the present moment, here and now. And you will see that even having memories that arise, and I am not talking about karma or all that nonsense, but simply habits or memories, you will be very ill, even happy memories, which still move you today. You will no longer be able to tolerate them. Not you as a person, but the love that you are. You can't do otherwise. Enjoy the joys of the moment, enjoy this exuberance or silence, but don't be fooled. Silence. Let it be what is, and let it not be what is not. You are beyond being and not being, you are beyond any form, you are beyond any identity, because you are the sum of identities, the sum of forms, the sum of worlds. This is how the ephemeral, the being and the non-being, the ephemeral and the eternity if you prefer, I lived, in what has been called this zero time. You can only recognize yourself. But this recognition cannot be, neither memorable, nor visual, nor energetic, nor vibratory, it is indescribable. But translation, as you know, is joy that depends on nothing, it is the smile on your face, that you will transmit whatever your occupation, whatever your life. Are you okay? Are you alright? Laughs. That's the word. Even when I don't speak, that's what my visitors already felt at the time, without being able to understand anything about it, and without being able to live from it. And somehow it titillated them, because their natural state, whatever the veils of consciousness that were put on top of each other, they knew it was the truth, even if they didn't experience it. And I think it's been explained as well, it creates a form of friction fire, where there are emotions coming up, where you can actually have, as the sister said earlier, a particular night, but all that passes. You don't pass, and it burns. You must not expect to accept the totality of this bite of love that you are. In the space of a second, even if under you are recognized, you still have this bag of meat. Regardless of you, it is your vehicle, it is not adapted at all, which is why it will no longer exist, nor even the body of eternity. The body of eternity is accustomed to dimensions, is accustomed to manifestations. You are before the manifestation, before the creation, and yet you are the creation. You're only love, and this love is no longer derived towards visions, projections, abracadabra scenarios. It is the case to say it, that the elders have built, the commander has explained it to you. I never adhered to all that, I saw clearly, I saw that there was nothing to see, that all that was distractions, and that everything you built, which was necessary, for all those who were the vibrators as I now call them. Laughs. It's like the spiritual ones. It's a burden, but it has existed, it still exists. Do not care about anything, and especially not about your simulacra, still less about your sufferings, they are only the expression of your habits, your unconscious, your consciousness, as well as your supraconsciousness. But it's all bullshit today. Love is full and complete on its own, and, as soon as you are present, somewhere in your simple life, the information of zero time is inexorably diffused. And you will find that you do not need to explain yourself, you will find that you do not need to justify yourself, you will find that energy and vibration awaits, and you can only agree that consciousness is a vast disease. You can't accept it, you can only live it. This is what consumes the dream of consciousness, and your bag of meat, like this world, like all worlds, in all universes and multiverses. It seems enormous for the conscience, to see a myth, but it is the only thing that is real, there is no other. Whatever your sex, whatever your children, whatever your pretensions, you will see from your experience that this essential sentence, whichever likes to use, what you hold dear to you, and I would even say that today, what you hold dear is a trap. That doesn't mean you have to get rid of everything, but to see it. You're in exactly the right place, whatever your whining, whatever the condition of your body, your wallet or everything else. It had been said, the more the chaos of the world will grow, of society, of climates, of wars, the lighter you will be, you will already notice it, and you will no longer be affected, by death, by deception, by by suffering, it's a deception. I like the word deception today. And you have brothers and sisters who really and concretely live that consciousness is really the most serious of diseases. It is not life that is a disease, it is not your body, it is consciousness that created the body, that created the form. So do not seek responsibility by saying, it is Metation's fault, it is the fault of the genetic mothers, it is the fault of the Ekans, it is the same disease, it is the same suffering. And besides, those who played roles, the elders told you, even if these roles were useful and were milestones, scaffolding that they laid, they were forced to remove them. Whether you have been a geneticist mother, a world locker or an Echan, it is the time of reparation, it is no longer the time of worship, veneration or fear, it is the time of freedom of everything, form, dimensions, energies, vibrations, the body of eternity, the worlds. You can only realize that this has been a dream, and I would even say a total nightmare that has no reality. You're going to make it yours by living it, not before. You are not even space and yet you go through space. Of course, there are brothers and sisters, and you live it, who are still in the patterns of thoughts, in karma, in the soul, in the ego, in pride, in falsehood. Do not judge them, be present, they are you, without exception, and if you regret it, well you will see well. The bodily suffering, the psychological suffering will be enormous, you will no longer tolerate it, you will have no choice but to be free, but you will go through it, all of you. And besides, I believe that Commander told you that you will, I believe, consume yourself like the first Christians. When you live the spirit that you are not, however, you are no longer fooled by the death of your body, nor by its suffering, nor by your energies, nor by your vibrations, even if indeed, many of you feel that something is happening, Eba is there to tell you, he lives it. But all this is just passing through. And besides, he realizes himself that everything he explains to you disappears the next day. That's wonderful. You no longer have time to install, in quotation marks, something that is already something else. But after the last and first name word, there is nothing left. Life is lived, the dream dissolves, the white paradise is there and there is no more white paradise than anything else. But you're going through this. That's all. That's all. There is total freedom. Despite the presence of the limits of the body, the social and moral laws, they will be swept away, your society, it will explode, it is the case everywhere, and wait for the days to come, it is not a prophecy, it is the ineluctability of consumption. And this fire, to answer the sister and what happened last night, for some, for many even, you will laugh about it, tomorrow. Laughs. Be here and now. Laughs. You'll have no choice but to laugh, Omrayam told you, the commander. It burns, doesn't it? Sister. Oh yes. I thought we were going to be warmed up very slowly. No, no. It's full pot. And consider yourself lucky, because if I have to come back another time, you will find that cooking will be more and more terrible, and I even think that next time, no one will be able to stay in the room, I will be quiet in silence. And I am not doing anything. Sister. But we too will burn the others. What? We too will burn the others. But completely, as soon as you are present. You'll see that some brothers and sisters who are in their delusions, they're of spiritual fraud, of disease of conscience, they will burn, whether they want it or not, they will laugh, even if they do not want to laugh for the moment. Their own opposition, their own confrontation, their own speech will vanish. I think Eba told you, it's very simple today. You have a brother who is sick, in his vibrations, in his spirituality, you don't even need to prevent him, repeat his name and first name. Laughs. It's going to be very strange for him, and you have no authorization to ask since he's the one who's soft, just he doesn't want you to be him. It was said in the third part yesterday. I'm new. Prove it to him. There is no need to quibble, there is no need to react, there is no need to resonate, just say his last and first name. I guarantee you that you will feel his illness passing, and it will pass very quickly. What are you waiting for? You're the event. You have nothing to do, nothing to ask for, just to say the name and first name. It is the magic of love. Do not judge them. I will even say today, don't try to love them like the others, just say their names and first names. They won't like it at first, they won't understand what's happening to them, that is, what you feel there, everything that burns, the fire, they'll say it's the flames of hell, that they've been attacked, and you'll laugh, and so will they, afterwards, but not before. It's not just that anymore. I see you, I absorb your essence, no, I say your name, you're burned. Laughs. Try it, you'll see. And you won't stop, either, because you'll laugh so much. Don't tell them, they don't want to accept that they are in you. Don't tell them anything, no energy, no ritual, no vibration, will never protect them again. As I said, it is no longer even an absorption of essences or a heart-to-heart resonance, it is a consumption of love, as Omri said. You're the event. It's easy, say names and first names. So of course, it's recorded, there's no question of playing that here, and if you do it while lying down, as Agape explained to you, then it's clear, they'll feel it passing. Sister, why at night? Because at night, there is no more light, because the sun where the so-called radiations of the sun are absent, the moon can no longer make you reflect, you are connected to what is called the source, Alson, which is in you, you are lying down, you are necessarily, even if you do not perceive anything of it, at the junction, as Agape says, being, not being ephemeral, you are the whole dream, and you'll wake it, there, the one who plays with its energies, its vibrations, its visions. I told you, they have no way of protecting themselves, and at some point, they can only recognize themselves, so don't hesitate, it's you, it's not even a question of absorbing their essences or resonating, you just have to name them, and you'll start the fire. Moreover, you'll see more and more of this fire that will physically take your bodies, but also everything you have created at the societal level, not you, but us together, everywhere. You'll see more and more spontaneous combustion, of everything. Voices. All these schools of care and liberation that are flourishing, is that bullshit? Totally. It's, what do you call it, business, that's all. Love is a gift, it is never an exchange, even if it can be thanked, even if it can be paid for, it is not you who decide, for this act, no. Remember, they're not going to like it, eh? All you have to do is say their names and first names out loud, for those you know. Oh, there must be some. Then I signed off on their delusions. Laughs. It is irrevocable, irreversible and 120% effective. Again, don't believe me, check it out, we'll have a good laugh. Day 2, after. It's just you. Everything is in its place, and if you have no intention, if not to verbalize by word, not in thought, by name and first name, they are cooked, it cannot fail. Moreover, you'll see, if there are some who have the misfortune to listen to my words, because they are spying, they will go to exorcist priests, they will put grey everywhere, they will say, it is not true, they will scream. The poor just you, it's justice. You'll see surprising results, don't look for anything else, don't even think about welcoming them into your heart or resonating from heart to heart, or doing Agape. Simply name them, in the privacy of your bed, at nightfall, they are warned, notice, now I don't even know if they will dare to go to bed. You'll see. Laughs. The same key, it is valid for everyone, it is your last and first name. And take good care of the spiritual people, take good care of your politicians, your banker. They're not stories, eh? Check it out. You can see what is happening on Earth, no, not in the last few days. You haven't seen anything yet. Besides, you won't give a damn. Any questions about what I just said here? There is no need for techniques there. You don't even need to do your gestures that Eba gave you. Voice. A brother says, we have ideas now. Yeah, you got your hands full, huh? Laughs. Oh yes, the nights will be short. Laughs. It is an act of pure love, it will end, and it has been said by everyone, with an immense burst of laughter. Voice. Especially if you work with several people on the same one. Oh, there's no need, but you'll necessarily have the same ideas for those you know, I think. Bursts of laughter. Already with the fact of mentioning it, it makes you laugh, they are already being consumed, and so are you. It's hot and hot, isn't it? So is the truth, within the dream. Already I believe that the commander had revealed to you some facts about the history of this pseudo-lineage. They must not have appreciated either, but it is normal, there is no wickedness, it is only love. Well, not yet for them, but they are just as, at other times. Anything else? Voice. A question. With you, Bidi, it's more of a celebration now. It's light and enjoyable, whereas last night, during the revelation of I am you, there was friction in the body. I rubbed my legs, my knees, while there, now, it's really a celebration. That's right, but you had to go through with it. And even if you have never, you are present, but even if you have never heard of Eba and these three I am you see the results on earth, right? It was immediate. Look at what has happened, you'll hear about it tonight, look at what will happen in the days to come, it is not, because of or thanks to Eba, it is the natural of love. Voice. We have a brother who has a question. Yes, I have a Bidi question. If I understood correctly, each is the other, and the other is me. So, since I'm doing this work, by naming him, the other one, he starts to burn. Instantly. Which means I'm burning more? Exactly. That's it, I get it. Thank you. Thank you. Laughs. That is what is happening. And we're all gonna have a good laugh. Yes, since the other is you at another time, he does not see it, he does not see it, he does not see it, and by pronouncing his name and first name, without any intention, beware, simply by pronouncing it, you will burn even more, as after having pronounced your last and first name. And I go even further, even if you don't feel anything, even if you don't feel the fire yet, just verbalizing it will have the same effect on him, and you will end up feeling the same fire. But you will feel it instantly, since he is arched on his conscience. Consciousness is the gateway to fire. No one can escape it, and you will be doing many people a favor, many others a favor. Don't forget, the night must be present, you must be lying down, you no longer need, for that in any case, to make gestures or repeat anything, you don't even have to think about welcoming or sending anything, just the naked word. Last name, first name. Voice. One more question. So last year in May, it was, eat me, eat me, eat me, eat me, and there it is named me, named me, named me. That's right. Burn me, burn me, burn me, burn me. Laughs. Yes, that's right. A burn of love, that's what it is. You carry the fire and you give the fire, without wanting it and without deciding. And now, as Eba said, it's no longer an epidemic or a pandemic, because an epidemic, a pandemic, it took a while, but now it's timeless. You can imagine that it will be very fast, and it will be illustrated by the scenery, by the fires, real. You will awaken the fire of the volcanoes even more, you will activate and warm all the elements. In short, the verb is an electromagnetic impulse, you create the bite of love and the consummation of love. I urge you to check it, and every night. Voice. Should we say, it takes a time between two names? No, none of them. Laughs. You can take a complete list, I can already see some of them rubbing their hands and getting the papers out there. The word is much more direct. If we can compare agape with the resonance of the, or the emission of the fire of the Sacred Heart, it is no longer the fire of the Sacred Heart, it is fire everywhere. I'm telling you, there's no way to protect yourself, no ritual, no place, no energy, no matter what. Don't believe me, but do it. That's good news, right? Well, it depends on who it is for. Well, yes, it's good news too. Also, but after that. Laughs. You don't need to know anything, the key is last and first name. Voice. There is a question. It doesn't smell like burnt yet, we can keep going. Voices. It is therefore in our best interest to make a list of all the friends, family members, neighbors. Yes, you keep it on your bedside table, and you look at it every night. Everything's going to die. I say, nothing, no energy, no posture, no vibration, no stones, they can go to bury themselves, they can't escape it. Voice. One more question. Yes, Bidi, it's become too simple now. Laughs. It's a game. Fire is also anger. It may cause even more anger. Oh, yes, absolutely, the red noses are not going to be happy. But I also tell you, there are all those whose names you know, who are not close to you, politicians, financiers, among others. That's why we're here. Exactly. And Bidi, he's well hidden up there during that time? Oh no, I'm here every night at 11 o'clock. I said it before, I'm not hiding at all, I'm participating, with you, in you. General laughter. It works the same with the last and first name of the deceased. Voice. Repetition but cut off by the brother who said before. No, it works. Voice. It also works, a brother affirms with the last and first names of the deceased. Yes and no. What is important is those who are present here, in this plan, in this dimension, which is the resultary plan. What deceased? Someone who is part of the story. For the elders, it is no longer necessary, I think they've understood. Laughs. For the deceased, they are in you, of course, they will live the same fire, you will awaken them. I believe that Commander told you that all the disembodied were placed in a kind of stasis. Yes, wake them up, that's the event. Well, alright. And it's not a job as you said. It's a great joy, you can only laugh, because it's really very funny. Voice. From where you are, do you see them burning? Completely. Laughs. And I participate for some, I came to see them, I came into them, Brother K2, I think the commander had said so. You have a song that Ebba covered, what is it called now? Light the Fire. There you go. Well, turn the lyrics around and you'll see. Ebba is the specialist in that, since he had written the whole script, and you played it all. Don't hesitate, it works for everyone. You read something, you hear a name from a politician, from someone, hop, at night. It is a magic of love, you distribute the kiss of love, you distribute the joy of love, you consume their dreams, their illusions. All those who believe they control anything in this world must benefit from your fire. But not yours, by the word. You name them, and, as soon as they are named, they are consumed. And as you will be several to do the same. Laughter shouts. It is not an addition, love knows no limits. I see some of them gloating. Laughs. And there's really something. For now, I think Ebba had shown you to do agape care, agape therapy between you, but this is much more direct. No posture can resist, no societal structure can resist. Maybe don't set fire to your house right away, though, but as was said in the song, light the fire. That's exactly what it is. And this kind of fire, there, as you are already experiencing it, whether it is recent or for several weeks, well, you can see that it really does not stop at all. And the universe obeys. Radiation, as you say, obeys from everywhere. Have you burned enough, or should we continue? Voice. One more quick question. To name a social structure, to name a religion, to name... No, it goes through the individuals. All right. A religion, you take the Pope and it's settled? Bursts of laughter. We don't know his last name, we only know his first name. Oh, you can find it on the internet. I feel like I've given some ideas. I had nothing to do with it. Will they identify us? Impossible. The fire is not from one person to another, it is independent of that. It is the pronunciation of the last and first name that is the consumption. What do you want them to identify? It does not come from you, it does not even come from your heart, it is an impersonal fire, but it connects the last and first name to this fire. It's an impersonal fire. This is the new way of loving, it is radical and it is totally resultary. We would never have thought that. It is the gift of love to love. Anything else? Voice. We still have a few minutes left. Go ahead. On what is to be done to play, no, is that understood? Yes, we love. Voice. Question. Did it take only one word for Notre Dame de Paris to burn? Oh no, we had to create physical things. The ignition of the fire I am talking about today will indeed occur from everywhere. But now I think what you call Our Lady, or religious places, they're all going to flare up. You'll see it from everywhere. If they do not flare up, you'll have what I believe has been named in the story that happened, wounds, the 10 wounds. Everything that holds society, everything that holds and has organized spirituality, will burn. But again, don't talk to the buildings, but to the brothers and sisters who play this game. The list is long. It is not only the Pope, do not forget the Buddhists, do not forget the Imams, do not forget the rabbis, love them. I'm jubilant too, and you'll be jubilant even more. You will notice, as some of you saw last year, through the songs, but this year through your love, that it is no laughing matter and that it is a great part of pleasure. And even if it laughs yellow at first, it will end in a big burst of laughter. The commander has told you countless times, love. How to love. Say the last and first name. And that's all. Anything else? Voice. No, there is no question. So I think Bidi will let you cool off. I'll be with you as usual at 11 o'clock p.m. French time. You can call me at the same time. It will be double fire, fire from above, fire from below, unstoppable, obvious, inexorable, inevitable, and so effective. Well, Bidi will greet you. Don't forget anyone, and I tell you, see you next time. Be well. Thank you. Applause. Goodbye. A question. No, it's not a question, it's not a question. Thank you for everything. Thank you for you too, and have fun. You'll see, it's, how you say, enjoyable. Sister. Noon, I give you a big kiss of fire. It will be reciprocated tonight. Aren't you the one who complained about having a special night? Yes. Well, say so. Voice. There is another brother who would like to tell you something. Voice. Yes, I want to tell you that, a sister, and I am going to leave you, finally leave, separate. We are no longer leaving each other, but we are separating. Tomorrow morning we will leave early, we have to pack again, we will wake up before 6 o'clock. So we certainly won't be with you tonight. I would like to take this opportunity to greet you, it has done us a lot of good. I think that, a sister, also shares this. Bruhaha. Thank you to everyone. Voice. He talks about his wife, who is now called Frances, because she has regained her original first name, so he feels like he has changed his wife, and at the same time he says that he won't be able to dance with us tonight, but that you'll still dance. You'll be dancing in your bed. I'll dance in my bed. So with all my heart, thank you for all of you. There are others who will dance, who don't know yet. They're not here. Come on, I'll leave you alone, and be happy, that's all there is to it. Thank you. Some of the people who followed me will find this very funny. Come on, see you soon, I'll leave you to it. See you soon. The last 10 minutes were, of course, interspersed with laughter. Applause. Through LUC AYOUN. Les Transformations. English Translation, LMF.